That's right. We're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grab a seat. Kick your feet up. Relax. We're here. Not all of us, though. My name is Nicole. I am a co host here on the Let's Talk Ladies Takeover, as mentioned below and all around. Um, I'm going to be helping co-host the show because our lovely person Janae Struther is not here today. If you guys might have noticed, so just right off the top, we can't top that because she is the best. So we're gonna just kick it right into high gear here, and we're gonna go around with some introductions. As you know me, I am Nicole Oppenheimer. I love the Saints. And to the somewhat over this way is
Hello, I'm Kate, creator of the Ladies Takeover Elverston, and in this playoff with the last four teams, I am Go Commanders.
Ooh. All right. Well, you heard it there.
Dawn, did you hear me?
And my beautiful sister, who is also wearing the fabric pattern, is
Delilah. Hey, everybody. Woo. You saw me a couple of days ago on the Roundtable Show. And I'm here tonight a little loopy because it's been a crazy week and it's only Thursday. So I'm glad to be on tonight with my ladies and our special co-host tonight that's next to me. Oh, this way.
Over there. You gotta go the other way.
Sorry.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I am Anthony. I am one half of the cast of This Week in UGA Football and 1/4 of the Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. And I, Nicole, am a Falcons fan. You heard what I said. I still love you though. Nice outfit. It does look the colors go together very nicely. And I'm very happy to be here. I don't get to say that on this show very often.
yes. Awesome.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. If you guys are here, like, comment, subscribe, because we're going to give you all the deets, all of the news, all of the hits, hot topics. So we're just going to go into our next segment. And since it's the playoffs, yes, we're here. I can't believe it. 2025 coming to that place, New Orleans. The Super Bowl is. We got the playoffs. So we're going to be talking to you guys because we skipped a week because we were so focused on bringing those game details to you. So we're going to go over the wins and the crushing defeats. I just want to say before we go into it, because we wrote this down, Kate and I, that yes, the Eagles and the Buffaloes and the Washingtons, they have made it through. Unfortunately, we weren't able to pick the Eagle, or no, we weren't able to pick the Kansas City Chiefs because they were on a bye that week. So they scootin' bootin' past us. So I just wanted to see what your guys' takes are.
What was that? What was that verb again? They're doing what past us?
Scootin' bootin'.
Scootin' bootin'. Okay.
They're scooting and booting past us and the refs. So I just wanted to. We'll get into that later. But yeah, we're going to get into these games. So what is your guys' takes on the wins and crushing defeats on the last 2 weeks here? Kate, take it away.
Crushing defeats, of course. My Lions are officially out of it, and I am now officially on the couch.
No.
Chosen to adopt Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders to be the underdog. Because let me just tell you, I am in love with that kid. I am in love with that kid. He is just phenomenal. Not surprised that the Bills have advanced. Not surprised that the Eagles advanced. I am not surprised, of course, the Chiefs live on. And the only surprise to me in this whole like going for the AFC championship and NFC championship teams, the only surprise to me is the Commanders.
Yeah.
That is, and I could not be more happy for my brother and my friend Sean Spencer, and also Anton Benton and Will Kramer, because let me tell you, these boys have gone through a lot. So, yeah, like I really was hoping the Ravens could maybe beat the Chiefs or beat the Bills, but couldn't do it. I was really hoping that they could move on because I really like Lamar. I love Derrick Henry. I love that they have one of my favorite Michigan boys of all time, David Ajabu, on their defense. He's the Buckeye killer. So anyway, I just but the crushing defeat to me was the Lions are no longer in it, and it's sad because they really worked their hearts out, but their defense, we had 18 players on IR going into that game. So we just need to get healthy and rested and of course find a new OC in DC. And since Delilah stole one of them from us, little rotten sassafras.
So me personally,
I know.
We went from bootin' scooting to Rassafras.
Yep.
It's like 1868 back in old New Mexico. You need to get the boot scooting out of here, you Rassafras. Anyway, I'm sorry.
But yeah, that I will wrap up and say those were my crushing defeat, and that was the wins. Happy for the Commanders, sad for the Lions.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I felt the same way with Jaden Daniels. You could say this is for those new school kids. Is that what music was he listening to? Slapped so hard it slapped the Detroit Lions out of it. But anyways, Delilah, what do you think about it?
Yeah. For me, the crushing defeat was the Ravens. Like, I understand the focus on Detroit. I get why, their run, everything, and they've gone through a lot, the brown bags and everything. Like, I get it. But I feel like Lamar and the Ravens get to this place and somehow just can never get past that hump. And my heart breaks for him, honestly, because he proved this year that he can pass. I mean, his passer rating, like Kate showed on the show, was crazy good. He could pass to come on, listen. I like Bateman, I like Flowers, but is that a name? Are they known? Do you know what I mean? Are they those elite wide receivers that people think about? No. But he was passing like they were, and Andrews had a bad game, and that's the crushing defeat. My heart breaks for him because he did not cost the game for the Ravens. It just sucks that was that last play, and that gets stuck in everybody's mind. Again, he was passing to a tight end. He was passing to two receivers, that were not really household names. And so for me, that's a crushing defeat because he really was like, we can do it. They had Derrick Henry, who's a powerhouse, mow downs like defenders. I said that on Tuesday. I don't think they used Derrick Henry well. I think that was the loss. I believe the reason, because they didn't lose by much. My belief is that they lost because they didn't play the running game well, especially with someone like Derrick Henry. I don't know why John Harbaugh, I feel like he should have known better, gave up on the running game. Because for me, if I have someone like that on my team, have you guys seen his workout videos? If you've ever seen Derrick Henry's workout videos, I am not scared to send him against a defender. That's all I'm saying, okay? I will be like, give him the ball. Because he's going to find a way. Maybe not the first play, but I promise you, he is going to wear down those defenders and he's going to break through. He's going to hop over on, he's going to do whatever, man. Okay, because when he's playing football, he's not looking mean. He's smiling.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which is way more intimidating, in my opinion,
Right?
than looking angry. So that for me was a crushing defeat. Lamar, I love you. I'm sorry. I don't believe you deserve the hate that you get. Andrews, I'm sorry that you're getting death threats. I think that's crazy.
Matt's crazy.
On the other side, on the win, which again, same AFC game, I'm also glad for the Bills. Okay, they've also been that team who've been going the distance, but they don't have that win. Okay, you know what I mean? They've also every right. Oh, there's always a generation where they're almost there, and they don't have a Super Bowl to call for themselves. And so I am happy on that other side of the football that Josh Allen made it, that the Bills made it. They were the underdogs. It's crazy when you think about it, right? The last few years, they were the underdogs in this game. You know, and they made it. And so even though I focused on the AFC, I did feel like both those teams, there was a crushing defeat, but there was also a win, you know? Kudos to the Bills, Bills Mafia. Because I like them, man. Not just crushing tables, but they're actually a really cool fan base. Like, they actually raise money, right? Whenever something happens, they raise money for that other team whenever the fan base gets stupid. And so they raise money for Andrew's, like, I don't know what his
He has a foundation.
Yeah, I don't know what the foundation is, but they raise a lot of money for it. So that's why I mess with Bills Mafia. You guys are a cool fan base. Kudos to you guys. And I'm glad that your Bills won in that aspect. You guys are a cool fan base, not toxic.
I like that. We need more of that. Anthony Handy, what do you think? Tell me your hot takes. What do you got? I want to hear it.
Well, see, I actually figured it out before. I actually figured out my mic wasn't on before I started talking this time. On the round table, I have talked for like 3 minutes, and they going, Handy, you're muted. I really feel for the Lions. I mean, Kate alluded to, when you build something and you build it great, people come knocking around the door, picking it. And now, you know, you've lost defensive coordinator. You lost an offensive coordinator. I think you lost a couple of other defensive coaches as well.
And our offensive line coach, Ben Johnson's taking him to.
Right. So you've got you've got all that talent coming back off the IR this year, and the window may be getting smaller with the success they've had this year. You got guys in contract years, and they're gonna want more money. So really, really heartbreaking for the Lions. As where the Ravens are concerned, yes, I heard from Lamar, but I think I heard for Derrick Henry a little bit more, because the Ravens have always been a good squad that have always been just a piece away or just a play away. But Derrick Henry essentially was the Tennessee Titans. And now with pairing him with Lamar, and then everybody sees Lamar throw, and Derrick can run, and Lamar can run, and you got it's definitely I think I'm definitely going to go with it's definitely the bigger heartbreak for me is probably the Detroit Lions. I've started rooting for them ever since fans were showing up with the bags on. I think the Lions were doing it before the Browns were doing it, and that one was just crushing. I said I thought the Commanders were going to win, but it would have been nice to see the Lions finally get one. Just to get close enough, like in Major Payne, where he sent the guys out to go get the trophy. He said, "Did you even see the trophy? Did you get close enough to it?"
Right.
So, but that's all I've got on that. I will talk more about stuff as we get into the show.
I mean, yeah, it's like the hockey town. I feel like Detroit is an NFL, a football town. So I feel like it hurts in the gut a little bit more. Glad no one talked about Baker Mayfield from the Bucks, but he was good. He tried. I just have to say that in because we are division.
I like how you just threw the jab on your way out. It's like, yeah, Detroit's a football town. Oh, there's Baker Mayfield. There's a jab. Okay, there we go. Moving on.
A Saints fan is always a Saints fan. So, all right. That's great. I think that was pretty good. We have another discussion and topic that we're going to be discussing. And just let me look over my notes here. We are going to be doing a good old game ball. We're going to be, right, throwing away our own game ball. It could be like in that commercial with the soccer and the football being a soccer football. We are doing our own thing. Because what are we? We're the ladies, and what do we like to do? Take over tonight for the Let's Talk Football. So, that's right. And I'm going to go first off to Delilah. Who is your game ball?
Saquon Barkley.
Ooh,
The
nice.
Eagles. I know. I'm gonna go over on the other side, and because we'll probably go into it later. But he should get the game ball for the season. Wink, wink. I'm gonna give
Still
him
good.
the game ball. For me, I gotta say yes. I gotta give it to Saquon because it is my belief. If you watch that game, that's why the Eagles won. Is because of Saquon Barkley, because that was not like a lights out game for the Eagles. The Rams could have taken them out, as we all assumed they would, because a lot of us did predict they would take that win, the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, the Eagles are in the NFC Conference Championship game because of Saquon Barkley. He literally took them to the playoffs, in my opinion. Carried that team on his back. So he gets game ball.
Nice. I like it. I like what that has to hear. I'm interested, Kate. What are your thoughts on the game ball and who it should go to?
I actually broke down who all the winning teams were and have game balls for each of the winning teams.
Ooh.
So for the Eagles, definitely Saquon Barkley. Without his running, I don't think they would have won the game that they did. He is just really their MVP for their whole team this season and has carried them on their back because Jalen Hurts hasn't been the quarterback he's been in other years. So he gets the game ball for me for the Eagles. For the Commanders, I give it to Jaden Daniels. That kid can run, he can pass, he can elude, he can do it all. So Jaden Daniels definitely deserves a game ball. I mean, he played a flawless game against Detroit. Just flawless. Kudos to his offensive line to protect him like they did. And then I have to give another game ball to another Commander because he got 2 picks against Jared Goff, and he hails from U of M. Mikey Sandristil, the rookie, who I feel deserves Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think he's been really phenomenal for the Commanders and very key and instrumental to their defense this year. But those 2 picks were just crazy good. Read Goff like a book. And I was like, dang you. I want to be mad at you, but I love you at the same time because you're one of my favorites ever at Michigan. So, yeah, Mikey Sanders still had a very good game against Detroit. And in style, when we played at Michigan, we put on what's called the turnover buffs, or these really cool Cartier sunglasses, and he got to wear the buffs in the locker room after, and greeted by Kevin Durant. And for the Bills, I definitely have to say Josh Allen. I mean, when he had to run and get the first down, and when he had to do it all, he could do it all. So Josh Allen definitely deserves a game ball. And then for Kansas City, because of how tenacious they were against the Texans and how good he was getting to the pressure on C.J. Stroud, I have to give it to Chris Jones. He played lights out defense for them that whole entire game. And I love defense. I love defenders. They're actually my favorite part of football. And he just really shook up C.J. Stroud so many times and just played a tenacious game on defense. So those are my game balls.
Those are good.
Yes, yes, yes,
I'm
yes, yes.
going to do one more honorable mention to McDuffie of the Chiefs because McDuffie earned that money the Chiefs gave him, okay? Let me just say. Because I agree, like Texans had the Chiefs on the run, and McDuffie is the one who literally was all over Nico Collins, right? Like, I mean, good for you, McDuffie. I'm glad you got the money because unlike sometimes where we see, right, where they're giving the money and then he went out there and he showed why he's one of the best safeties in the league. So game ball to McDuffie too.
I like that. I kind of took mine a little bit literal in the game ball and totally forgot about the divisions.
You're
and I was
good. No, do it.
I was gonna say Jared Goff because he literally had a perfect game this season. So that's what I was like handing that off. But if I were for the divisional round, I wanted to say DeMar Hamlin on the defense in Buffalo. He made their offense go on a long road trip that was very bumpy and not very put together, coordinated. So I liked his defensive style. And then coming back from even last year before, I was a big fan of him and seeing when he'd make those big plays. So though that's my game ball. Andy Handy, did you have a game ball?
I most definitely did. I'm going. A lot of people have. Well, not a lot of people. There's only four of us, so we're not a lot of people. A lot of people, but I've heard some very recognizable names here. But I want to throw a game ball out here to a guy I have been following since he was in college, since he was a running back. Ironically enough, for a rival to my what's that team name again, Delilah? Anyway, um, since he's down there in Tuscaloosa running for now retired coach Nick Saban. Shouts out to Coach Nick Saban. I know it's a pro football show, but shout out to Nick Saban, elected to the College Football Hall of Fame. His name.
I didn't know that.
Yep, they surprised him on game day last week. They told him
Congratulations, Coach
Saban.
Saban.
But the guy by the name of Brian Robinson Jr., he got drafted by the Commanders. And Sean and I used to talk all the time offline about a stud this kid is. And Sean's like, is he like that? I was like, he's like that. And he's coming to your Commanders. And if you remember his rookie campaign before he could get started good, he got carjacked. He got shot in the leg.
I remember that.
Oh my gosh.
He got shot in the leg, and there was some question as to whether or not he was going to be able to come back. And he said, "I did." And he said, "I did not come this far to just come this far." And that boy is balling out. Like he didn't bowl you over with his numbers. But the one thing I noticed, and I've finally been able to watch a couple of games because they're in the playoffs, is he is their go-to guy outside it. Like they're now a two-headed running attack. Just like in Baltimore with Lamar and Derrick Henry, he became the go-to guy for those fourth downs that they were just going for. If it wasn't Jaden, it was Brian. If it wasn't Brian, it was Jaden. He was their leading rusher this week. He only pulled up 77 yards, but he scored 2 touchdowns. So the boy is doing big things, and I hope he's able to have a good long career in the league, and I hope he sticks around long enough to get himself a nice little bag. But that's my game ball. He is definitely shown that he was worth the pick, and I'm glad that when the new regime came in, they said no, we're keeping this guy.
All I know is it gave me chills when he came out for his first game to 50 Cent's Many Men. It gave me chills.
I mean, it was perfect. I forgot that.
Perfect song, perfect intro. Tears were rolling down my face. Chills were all over my body. And I'm not a Commanders fan by any means, but what a welcome back that was for him.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. He could very well be lifting that Lombardi trophy.
Yeah, true.
And you know what? To be honest with you, I would not be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad at all.
never been a Redskins fan per se. I just remember my freshman year in high school and sitting up and watching the Super Bowl, and the look on my dad's face. My father was not one to really show a lot of emotion, but the look on my father's face as he watched somebody who looked like him
Yes.
quarterbacking an NFL team to a Super Bowl, and not just doing it, but doing it well. I think that honestly, I think that may have been possibly his best season. I mean, he's had some good seasons after that, but I mean, he showed out against the Broncos. I mean, what, 4 touchdowns, Super Bowl? I think he was a Super Bowl MVP. So I have, the Commanders when they were the Redskins, and then the Washington football team. And then I lived in that area for 18 years, and we used to see the players out and about. True story, sidebar, I used to work part-time at a TGI Fridays. It's like my part-time gig, in addition to my full-time gig of hosting karaoke and another part-time gig doing something else. And it was in the mall that the Fridays was in, was like one of those really trendy, expensive malls. It had a movie theater, was built right across from the Fridays. And every Monday, if they did not have a game, Clinton Portis and Chris Samuels and those guys would come in and sit down and eat. And I've had Fred Smoot come to a karaoke show. I've had Brian Mitchell come to just look up and go, "B Mitch, is that you?" So just that community, you run into these guys all the time. So I'm not mad at the Commanders being a game away from potentially going to the Super Bowl. That, and I kind of want to see Mr. Spencer's reaction if they do win. I think he's going to actually come on here and cry like he actually was sitting on the bench, like he actually played or coached. I'm not even. No shade being thrown, Mr. Spencer. I know it's been a long time, so try. Cause I did the same thing when the Dogs won that national championship. It's been 42 years. Anyway, I'm done.
I could see him going to the French Quarter and doing that march down. Even being around there, that buzz is going to be great.
With the second line. Oh, Nicole, quick question: Did you get to see the second line while you were down there?
No, I didn't, and I wish I did, because there was so much more to see. I have so much that I want to go back there for, that I am going to be putting that on my list. So I want to do that, but I will if they let me back in. I'm not kidding. They will. They love me. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break and take a breather and get some drinks, you guys, and we'll meet you back here. All right?
Yes. And in honor of the Commanders and Sean, here's a fun segment. And I'm sure if you guys have been a longtime fan, you probably remember this segment. And so it's a good one. Here we go.
And I'm like, oh. You already know, Janae. You don't come on this daggone show. We were playing and they call us out. Okay? If we lose because of you, Janae, we're done. I'm just letting you know this right now. All right? We're through.
Why are you gonna do this to me, man? Why are you gonna do this to
Hello,
me?
Delilah. That's all I need to say.
Like
I'm
coming
out
to
of
the house
here.
and just walking in, man. You gotta knock on the door. You can't just come in the show.
You did this last year. You did this last year, Janae. You did this last year, and I was waiting. I had my finger on the button because I wanted to see what you're gonna say. I got you, Janae. Let's go 49ers. Goodbye.
Wow! Wow! My guy! As you can see, I have pissed off my co-host in Let's Talk Football, my brother. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm just saying, I do want Justin Fields to succeed. I want the world to see it's not all just him. He does have some things, but it's not all him. So.
Ah, yes, I love that one.
I love that segment. Because you see how Janae low key just slid a jab in there. She backed out like Sean has, he's got he got some things, but
Oh man.
Oh, you never know.
Always a good one.
He's always in the back of our minds and sometimes in the back of our calls. All right. Well,
Wait a
we're
minute.
gonna
Hold on, Nicole Oppenheimer. You're not going to come on this show and be here talking about my Commanders, because the Commanders, as there's a Bible verse that says, the race is not given to the swift, no, the battle to the strong. He's going to come in here in 3, 2, 1. What's up, Sean? How you doing? I didn't even know you was here.
I
Anyway.
love it when Sean
hilarious.
pops in with like
Right?
no like flash, and you're like, ah.
We'll see. We'll see.
That would have been great.
He might be on his way to New Orleans right now. All right. Well, we're going to continue on because, like Sean, who is our MVP, I'm sure, we are going to talk about some other MVPs on the field. We got the latest news here in the, what do you say, where they run a relay race for the MVP. So, hot off the press, that we're talking, the guy who's running the most but is not a runner is Josh Allen. I was going to say Sean. Josh Allen. So I don't know. Kate, did you want to take this one away?
I could. So
right.
I was like flipping through X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it today, and saw that they came up with the finalists for the MVP. So in tradition, let's break it down. So we have Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. We have Saquon Barkley for the Philadelphia Eagles. We have Joe Burrow, a.k.a. Mr. Smokey Smooth, from the Bengals, quarterback. We have Jared Goff from the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. And then we have the current reigning MVP in the NFL, Lamar Jackson, from the Baltimore Eagles, or the Baltimore Ravens. Why did I say Eagles? So anyway, let's talk. Let's say who we think and why, or maybe have a rebuttal and start the debate. And so I'm going to give it to our only gentleman to start the debate of who he thinks and why and all that jazz.
I'm looking around. You said gentlemen. I wanted to know who else came in the chat. I was like, I know she ain't talking about me.
Oh, shoot. Oh, God. Let's give it to Uncle Shay Shay.
Well, Shay Shay ain't no gentleman either. There's a reason he say he like to do something before do something. Anyway, we gonna keep this thing going because it's good to see you ladies tonight. But Shay Shay was hell when he was well. Buy my drink, Shay by the Portier, or you're gonna make Ocho cry. Okay. I love that show. I'm seriously, I have watched every single one, every episode of Club, the one he does his interviews and Nightcap. I watch that every night before I go to bed. Moving on, I think there are arguments that can be had for all. I'm going to be very realistic here. I think that every single one of these men on this list is a major contributor to why their team got to where they are. Who I am going to go with, though, however, and this is going to make one of you very happy, I'm going to go with Mr. Joe Burrow, and I tell you why. And I know that a team that doesn't, I know it's a regular season award and the playoffs don't factor in, but we know there is some behind the scenes bias where that's concerned. Well, they didn't make the playoffs, so we can't rightfully give because people are gonna think we're crazy. But so is asking 22 men to put on some pads and run into each other at full speed. And but I digress. The Bengals did not make the playoffs. Okay, there's no disputing that. The Bengals had an opportunity to make the playoffs. The way that I look at the MVP is, would this player's team be in the same position if you took that player out and inserted another player? And this one's a pretty tight one, but since the other four made the playoffs, it stands to reason that you can say that maybe you could plug another player in Buffalo, in Philadelphia, in Detroit, or in Baltimore. Maybe not with as much success, but still have some success. The Bengals are still without an offensive line. Their defense has holes in it like crazy. And yet, they were on the very last week of the season. All they needed, they had done everything that they could do with the season that they had to get to the playoffs. And number one reason for that is Joe Burrow. Another kid that I watched playing at LSU, an amazing talent at quarterback. So that's who I'm going with, because if there's no remix, if there's no Joe Burrow, the Bengals would not have even been within sniffing distance of the playoffs this year. Yes, again, they did not make the playoffs, but he at least did everything he could to get them within sniffing distance. And of course, we won't talk about the team that decided, well, we just not gonna play. We gonna play our second and third stringers, and that way they're gonna lose, and that way all them other teams that might get in ain't gonna get in, because we don't want to play them at all.
Because he's their
Did I
kryptonite.
say that out loud? I said that out loud.
So,
Okay.
all right. So we got Mr. Handy with Joe Burrow. Nicole, who do you think should be MVP and why? Or do you have any arguments for the cause?
I have a lot to say. First off, with the name MVP, more like WVP, because Washington should have taken it with Mr. Jaden Daniels. That's my hot take. I don't know. I was just like, why not? It makes the most sense to me. He's done the most, and I get it. I guess maybe that's why the playoffs are not technically a thing McBoober, but they're a thing McBoober to me. So I don't know. I would say, is there a rule? Why not? I want to talk to these people. I want their names, to just give them a good smiley face, because that's what I would do. But I don't know. I think what I'm more angry at is there needs to be more of a 10 list, I think, maybe, instead of maybe a list of 5, or maybe if they split it up, maybe an MVP and an MVP to MVP, and then we could have it shared and they could hold hands together at the honors. But Jared Goff, yes. Lamar Jackson, double yes. That man is super duper great for what he's done. And Saquon Barkley is amazing too. I think Saquon Barkley should take it out of all of them because he's a running back. I know one of you guys will probably discuss that further. But that's my thing is I once said that Jaden Daniels, what is he about a rookie? But maybe we should be looking at not the king of the MVP, but the queen, because the queen in chess is the most that takes it all. And I am the queen, and he would be not nay a rookie, but my knight.
Oh,
Yeah.
got the chess pieces up in here.
You wanted Jaden Daniels, but you're going with Saquon Barkley.
Yes, yeah. No.
So, all right, Delilah.
You know, I love that. I like how you brought some chess pieces into here, because I suck at chess, and so hopefully y'all can help me with that. But for me, I'm gonna go with Saquon Barkley. I think it's high time. It's happened before. We've seen running backs win before, but I believe that of this whole season, yes, it always goes to the quarterback for the most part. Not always, primarily. But it should go to Saquon Barkley because, one, everybody remembers when he was playing for New York, he was always injured. But what a comeback for him, by the way, of the fact that he did suffer multiple injuries on New York. And that's kind of why they got rid of him, by the way, remember? Because he was hurt and they don't know if he could play the same. Look at him now! Because they were unsure of his productivity because he had injuries, and he has gone and to a rival team within their own division, which I always thought was interesting. and has carried the Eagles on his back. He has been consistent. He has been tough. He has been a dual weapon because, we now know that, sometimes the running backs also have catches, right? And so sometimes he was also receiving. And so he 100% helped, and no hate on Jalen Hurts, because I'm not saying, because I know people get butthurt when you say stuff like that, but I am not saying that Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback. What I'm saying is Saquon Barkley 100% made him look better, because he didn't have to pass to him, right? Like, like he does a wide receiver. He just had to give him the ball. He was gone. We all saw when he did that weird upside down back for flip thing in the air that people still can't believe he did that. You know what I mean? Like,
the reverse leapfrog, that was pretty dope.
Yeah, like that was wild.
But wait, not only a reverse leapfrog, but he had just got done juking to his right, and then he spun on one foot like he was on roller skates and just whoop, like
Absolutely
seriously, he
wild.
hopped over him like Mario hopping over a mushroom. Bing!
Absolutely crazy. Okay? He would have broken an NFL record if he had not rested on that last day.
Yep.
He had over 2,000 rushing yards in the season. 2005. He almost broke a record, but they rested him, and I understand, right? Because it would have been worse not to have him in the playoffs. I get it. That would have been worse, in my opinion. But he missed out on a record. He bested his previous career high of 1,312. So literally almost twice as much.
Pretty much.
Well, kudos. I believe that of all the guys on this list, that the MVP should go to Saquon. And I hope that the people who are voting, because I know it's usually the players who actually vote on this, by the way. You know that, right? I don't know if people know that. It's players and it's a combination. And so I think it should go to Saquon. I hope he gets it, and that's my choice.
All right. So, I've really thought about this, and I'm with Handy. If he had an offensive line, they had a defense that knew how to win. They fired their defensive coordinator right after the season. If that shows you anything about where this team needs to go, Joe Burrow, I feel he was the leading passer in the NFL. I mean, they have the top and three other players, like Trey Hendrickson led with sacks, Jamar Chase led with receiving yards, and Joe Burrow led with passing yards. They had three of the best players in the league, but they were just missing pieces to get to that playoff. So Joe Burrow, to me, he passed for 4,918 yards. He was just shy of 5,000 yards. He had 43 touchdowns, which was first in the league. His yards were first in the league. I mean, he had the third best QBR passer rating. He just played lights out. And I just feel sorry for him that he didn't make the playoffs, because we all know he's the Chiefs' kryptonite. The Bengals have always been their kryptonite. So I feel sorry that he couldn't eliminate the Chiefs this year, because I was really hoping for it. But I mean, to come back from the hand injury, you could also put him in comeback player of the year as well. But he just, to me, is the epitome of who was the best quarterback, but didn't have the right pieces to go further. Mm-hmm. So to me, it belongs to Joe Burrow. We'll see if they would give it to a player that didn't make the playoffs. I don't know in the NFL. I didn't do my research. I should have. If that award's ever gone to someone who hasn't won the Super Bowl, hasn't gone to the Super Bowl, hasn't gone to the playoffs. But to me, he's the most deserving. But I have a feeling I hope they give it to Saquon Barkley, because I do think he is the most deserving that is currently in the playoffs. I think he attributes the most to his team. And I think he's the reason the Eagles have had such a burst of coming back from where I didn't think they were capable of being in the playoffs and going as far as they have. So I think it should be Joe Burrow, but I hope if it's not, it's Saquon Barkley out of all of them.
Ooh, I like it. All right. Well, you guys comment below and tell us what and who you think is the MVP and say maybe why you didn't think that we were correct or not. Or if you do agree, shout it out from the rooftop. Not right now, though, because we got more coming for you. We are going to be doing some cool thinking and thoughts, and we are going to go and switch it over to what's happening this weekend. And you know what's happening this weekend? We are going to look at some football. We got some great football games here for you, folks. We got a ton of football games. Actually, just two. Two very important football games. We got the, I'll say them out loud, even though my team's not in it. It is, for the AFC, we got the Bills versus the Chiefs. And then for the NFC, we got Commanders versus the Eagles, if you lived under a rock and didn't know. So, true fact, one of my coworkers thought that the Super Bowl happened on Thanksgiving, and they said, well, why were they eating and having a feast? And I said, that's their Thanksgiving. So, yes, the Super Bowl's coming up. We're going to take and see who's going to pick what, and we're going to write them down. So I'm going to take it first to Anthony Handy. What are your thoughts on the NFC Championship, the Eagles versus Washington?
I am going to I'm going to ride with the Commanders. I'm not even going to mince words. I'm up front. I think that this, despite the fact that the majority of the defensive front of the Philadelphia Eagles came from a school that I love dearly. I'm not going to do my little shtick where you can't see my face. The banner's covering my face. Despite the fact that the entire defensive front of the Philadelphia Eagles comes from a school that I love dearly and will always hold near and dear to my heart, I'm going to roll with the Commanders. The change in you guys had to. This is one of those things where you really had to be there. Because I lived in that area, we got all the news that was fit to print that came out about the Commanders, the then Redskins, the stuff that was coming out of camp, the stuff that people were saying, the stuff that Dan Snyder was doing, the stuff that Bruce Allen was doing, the boneheaded moves, the firing the coaches every couple of years, the whole 9 yards. The new ownership group has breathed a breath of life into, as our illustrious Mr. Spencer likes to quote scripture, like as it said in the Bible, where God breathed breath of life into man. This new ownership has breathed a new breath of life into this squad. Jaden Daniels was just kind of the cherry on top of the absolute perfect ice cream sundae. The energy he brings, the confidence, Dan Quinn trusting his players to, I have never, this season alone, between Detroit and Washington, I have not seen teams go for it on fourth down so much in my entire, go for it. 4th and 42, go for it. You guys have got it. And they are doing it. I think that the Commanders can really pull this off. That's not a knock on Saquon. That's not a knock on Philadelphia and everything that they have done this year to get to where they are. I think, okay, since Mr. Spencer is watching, I'm going to try and do this. I think that no, I'm not going to do it again. I did go
you
back.
Can do it.
Go back about 50. I think that the Washington Commanders will reign supreme in the NFC championship. Left hand up. That's all. That's all I got. But I do. I think the Commanders are going to pull this off.
Nice.
100%. I'm throwing my full weight behind him. If I was a gambling man, I'd put good money on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Better be listening to
The
all
rate.
of our praise. Yeah.
I had to throw
Delilah,
that in.
what do you got?
Because I'm gonna go with what I did on Tuesday, and he knows why, because he was on the show. Because I want to preserve the juju and not jinx anybody, so I'm gonna go with the Eagles because I want to create balance in the force. So I'm gonna continue with what I said because normally I don't know if you paid attention to shows past, but normally when it's a clean sweep, we tend to kind of screw over that team that we do a clean sweep for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm going to go Eagles, but also because I like Saquon Barkley, so it might be possible. He might carry that team to the Super Bowl, to be honest.
Right?
He might be that last play and be like, nah, we're not doing this. I'm going to the Super Bowl and like dive over, do a backflip. I don't know. He does weird stuff. Another back leapfrog thing that, he did. Who knows? So because of Saquon Barkley and the universe, I'm going to pick the Eagles.
Wait. Saquon Barkley and the universe, not just Saquon by himself, is the whole universe.
I'm checking the stats on that. I like it. Are we going to keep rolling with? I mean, I get it, Delilah. I know.
You do what you do.
You
do your pick.
You know, I don't want to jinx it at all. I know my brother used to let me watch him game because I think my breathing would make him lose. So like, you sneeze one way, you know, you never know what's going to come out if you go a little hard. So I'm going to say that I'm looking at that trophy, you know, the one with the dent in it from Mr. Gronk. Well, I'm looking at that trophy and I'm looking at it a little bit closer and I'm seeing there's a little bit of, you know, maybe some mustard and some blood because, you know, I'm going with the Washington Commanders. They are hungry and they're going to eat. They're going to eat the Super Bowl all the way up, and with a lot of blood and sweat and tears are going to go into it. And I think also too, maybe some tears from Sean. I don't know if they received the package yet, but I think that, Washington Commanders, I'm totally here for it. If it wasn't for them, I was going to go with Detroit because that's what I had against KC with Detroit Lions, Kate, for you. But if they can't do it, I think they're going to hand the baton to Washington. And Jaden Daniels, that guy, wow. You guys keep a hold on him, Sean. Whisper in their ears. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think it is going to be a blowout.
I just love my careless whisper.
Careless whispers into their ears, you know. Kate, what do you got? What are your thoughts?
I think that the Commanders have every chance if they can beat my Detroit Lions. In my opinion, they can beat anybody. Because even though we had a very defeated defense, we had next man up and kept winning. And we did really good against the Vikings at the end of the season and still beat them handedly. And we definitely got a lesson. We got commanded. But I just think that with Robinson and Eckler in the backfield, with Daniels being a two-headed monster that he can run, he can pass. Mm-hmm. He has scary Terry McLaurin, the Buckeye, who caught some incredible passes against the Lions. I mean, that guy just was insane. So I think they have enough weapons, and I think the youth of Daniels will outdo the defense of the Eagles. And he's just slippery. He just can find the seam, the gap, the hole. But he did that at LSU. Again, another LSU quarterback is in the hunt for the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know why they breed such good quarterbacks at LSU, even with questionable coaching, but they do. Joe Burrow was great there. Then they have Jaden Daniels, who won the Heisman Trophy, if none of you knew that. But I really do believe that it was crazy because I remember back when we had Ash on the show and Janae, get rid of Dan Quinn. We need to get rid of Dan Quinn. He's a thorn in our side. He's not good for the Cowboys. And I was just like, told you so, because I knew when he got to the Commanders, he was going to show them that it wasn't him that was the downside at the Cowboys. It was McCarthy and Jerry Jones and all of what we've all talked about. So I'm very happy for Dan Quinn that he's been able to get to where he's at and show why he is a good coach and why I'm so happy that they finally sold the team. There's new ownership. They got rid of Rivera. They've brought in good coaching. And can we talk about really one of the MVPs for the Commanders? We don't talk enough about Cliff Kingsbury. He has been a tenaciously good offensive coordinator.
100%.
And the Arizona Cardinals are still paying him. So
yeah, true.
I think not enough is said about how good of a coordinator Cliff Kingsbury has been for them in mentoring and bringing up Jaden Daniels in the league and what he's done for that offense and the play calling. So, Sean, I'm just giving your team a bunch of flowers tonight, aren't I? But Sanders still on defense. He's a scary good rookie. I think Jalen Hurts is going to throw him an interception or two. I just feel it. So I am going all in on the Commanders, and it's going to be – I don't think it is – they know how to play in the elements of Philadelphia too. They have elements. It's all lined up for the Commanders for me.
I like it. Well, I mean, there you have it. 2 NFC East teams. Sorry, Janae, but your Cowboys in it to win it. I swear, one of them wins. It should come down to the NFC South. We'll take them.
And all the NFC North teams lost their first game in. And we were supposed to be the best division.
Can we talk about there was a commercial that I saw, a real quick break that came on. It was like, you know how they say we'll step away real quick, and it's like a 30-second break, and it's Gronkowski and I forget who it was, and he says, "You guys be sure to catch all the action for Super Bowl licks," and it's like, Gronk, that's Super Bowl 59, because the Roman numerals for 59 is LIX.
Yeah,
you took my thing. I was gonna say that.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I thought you were reacting like this was the first time you had actually heard it. I did not realize. We are mind melded today.
Oh, my idea.
I honestly think Gronk also plays stupid, but he's really smart. He plays the stupid role, but he's actually very smart.
Is he doing the Kick of Destiny this year?
I don't think
I thought it was just the Manning brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured we were like, are you going to trust him with that again?
I mean, it was the
whole thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to move over to the AFC. AFC. Can take the championship to be. Yes. Great. Now no one will forget the AFC exists. Kansas City Chiefs versus New York Buffalo Bills. I guess I'll hand it off to Kate. What do you think?
Depends. Are the refs playing for Kansas City too? Because let me just tell you, Troy Aikman took a lot of heat this last week for calling it out as much as he did when he called their game. He's like, oh man, that is just bull crap that he got that called. one of the roughing the passer calls that he got.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, I think Mr. Kermit's been hanging out with LeBron and learning the flop, because that flop was really good out of bounds. But anyway, as I say, I love Taylor Swift. I hate her boyfriend's team. So I am going all in for the Buffalo Bills. Come on, Josh Allen. Come on, DeMar Hamlin. Come on, Knox. Come on, guys. Do the unthinkable and send the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid and all the rest back to Kansas City, to Arrowhead. Keep them in Arrowhead and make sure that they're not going to the Super Bowl and we don't have the three-peat and we talk about the dynasty and all the crap. And I'm sorry, Taylor, I don't care if you cry. I don't want your boyfriend's team in the Super Bowl. So go Josh Allen, defeat the Chiefs. Hopefully there's not any shenanigans, because you know what came out this week. Supposedly, I'll call him by his real name, Patrick Mahomes, has the infamous playoff ankle injury and sat out some practices this week. So the infamous ankle injury is coming back for the playoffs that he always seems to have.
It's a lucky ankle.
To garner that, like, aw.
Mhm.
So I just was like, really? An ankle injury during the playoffs? Sounds familiar. But anyway, go Josh Allen. Massive piece of magic. I need you to be the most magical of magical of magical and keep the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Nice. All right. I like it. I love it, actually. In fact, Kate, I mean, I don't really. We're all good here, because I might as well just say I'm going for the Kansas City Chiefs. I do like, though, how Patrick Mahomes did admit, saying, yeah, I kind of saw that and regret it, kind of retracing his steps, because I think he knows that he's going to get pigeonholed into the deflate gate, which we hope is not the case with the refs and everything. But I really do think that the Kansas City Chiefs, I want them to take it, especially for that Andy Reid super fan who looks exactly like him. I want them to be there, and I want them to take on, the other guys. I want to see if it can be tossed that, Mr. Tom Brady does get tossed off the Richter scale with Mr. Mahomes and what he could do. So I'm here for it. I want to see it. And Mr. Pacheco, too. He's one of my favorite, actually, unsung
I do like
heroes.
Pacheco. He's one
Yeah.
of people. He's Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So that's my take on it. And no hard feelings. Delilah, what do you have to say?
I picked the Bills on Tuesday, so I'm going to continue with the Bills. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs won. Last weekend, I saw Patrick Mahomes falling, made a pass, but Travis Kelce still caught it. And I don't care, what people's, feelings are about Patrick Mahomes, but if people are going to start, taking away from the fact that he is one of the greatest quarterbacks of this generation, every generation has their own quarterbacks. So we can't take that away from him, because that would be a disservice. He was falling. I don't care, if people are like, oh, he flopped or whatever. He does things as a quarterback that is, insane to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would not be surprised if Kansas City went away with it and becomes one of the few teams who does 3 Super Bowls in a row. But I am rooting for the Bills. I'm just saying that if it goes the other way, I wouldn't be shocked. If we have a problem with the officiates and referees, then you got to change the rules. I said this on Tuesday. I said everybody's going to keep critiquing. The game has changed. If, change how you do the training of the officials. Remember, there's only one referee, by the way. It's all officials and one referee. The referee's the one with the white hat. I did a little, history talk about that years ago. But if you do not like how the game is being called in general, because it's not just the Chiefs, it's just they get the most view because of who they are, then the NFL has to change how they do the training of the officials and what the referee says and what New York sees. Remember, it goes back to New York and sometimes they change the calls. That has to change. So I'm sorry. If again, they are this generation's Patriots, guys. So that's who they are. And so if you don't like the calls that are being made, then the NFL has to kind of change kind of how they do officiating and refereeing. But I'm going to go for the Bills because I hope there's an upset.
Nice. I mean, ironically, I didn't think it was that play. I thought it was a different play during the game where he kind of slowed down to kind of pull in a guy to get him hit after the call was done on the sidelines. I thought that was it, but then the guys were saying that he's just more of like a senior. He knows how to play by the rules, I guess, that are there. I don't know. I don't want to say anything.
He does. Like, so he's gonna do like this happens in soccer. I'm sorry. Start watching soccer. Messi does this. Cristiano Ronaldo. All the big soccer stars will do the same thing and try to get a flop on the other guy. So it's not uncommon. It's just you're seeing it now from football players, specifically the quarterbacks, especially the ones that know the rules.
And Joe Burrow also had a pass like that this year where he was like going forward, falling, and made it to Jamar Chase. So other quarterbacks can do it too.
I see. Well, that leaves Mr. Fingers. What do you got for us? And what are your thoughts on the game with, is it going to be mustard or ketchup? Or is it going to be the good old blue and red?
I think I am going with the Rocket Pop, the blue and red, the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are the only team, the Bills are the only team to legitimately, and I say legitimately because the Chiefs rested all their starters. I honestly think what they did was they took the third string and put them on the practice squad and told all the practice squad guys, hey guys, you guys want to make a full NFL check? Y'all come on, y'all switch places. So in full on first string versus first string, best of best, the only team to best the Chiefs has been the Bills. Now, granted, they also beat the Chiefs in Orchard Park in their home stadium, and this time they're playing at Arrowhead. So there is that. I mean, you cannot deny that there's something about the Chiefs at home that can intimidate anybody. Although I think Josh Allen is just like, I'm just going to take this ball and run through the stands and run over all the fans because he runs over everybody. Seriously. But I definitely think if there is a team, granted, there's only 4 left and there's only one AFC team left besides the Chiefs, and that's the Bills. But if there's any team in the AFC that could take the Chiefs out, that would be the Bills. I also would say the Bengals if they were left in the playoffs. But literally, I think the Bills can get this done. So I'm going with the Bills. I would like to see. I'd like to see the Bills get to the Super Bowl. I think that would be one hell of a game. I think I went mustard and blood on the other game, right, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So mustard and blood. It could be a heck of a game. Mustard and blood versus the Dreamsicles. Could you see the posters? It would be amazing.
Yes. Right.
So that's what I've got. I definitely think the Bills have the personnel to do it. And I can't say this enough. Again, Hamlin, he's not Hamlin's not making all the plays, but I'm hearing his name called a lot. He's getting it. He's really getting involved in the defense, and I think I can't say enough about how good that makes me feel to see that. So maybe I got a little emotional tie to the Bills winning this game as well. But I definitely, I'm pulling for the Bills this go around. I'd love to see a Bills versus Commanders Super Bowl. I think that'd be a hell of a fireworks show.
Oh,
Me too.
I mean, you could say that the even the hot dogs are so hyped up in Arrowhead City that they're even dressed in their team colors. Well,
DeMar Hamlin's up for comeback player.
oh, I like to see that. I like that.
Hamlin's up for comeback player. I thought he got comeback player of the year.
Yeah, he's up for it again.
Really?
Yeah.
He keeps
Just
coming
saw
back.
that today.
He didn't win, remember? Because even though he was like the feel good story, he actually didn't have the numbers. So I do gotta give whoever did the awards, at least they were being honest to the awards. It didn't go to him last year. It went to
I don't remember.
I blinked, but he didn't win. I remember that part. And everybody was like, "Oh, what do you
Oh,
win?"
he won. Joe Flacco won that year.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's what I mean. Like he didn't win.
But they did do his thing, and the whole medical team
Yeah.
came out and stood on the stage with him.
That's what I mean. Like he actually didn't win, and so because as much of a feel good story, even though he was back, the numbers were not there. For his
Gotcha.
numbers.
Gotcha. But I mean, even just the fact that he was able to walk up on that stage under his
I
own
agree
power,
with that.
and now to see him out there, and he made some key plays. I think it was last week's game.
Yeah.
Not this past weekend, but the week before, he made a couple of key plays. I was like, wait a minute.
Because remember,
okay.
Yes.
the year talking about Commanders, the year Alex Smith won is because he came back from like that broken leg.
Right.
Oh, I remember that.
It was like literally like off of a stump or something, whatever the heck he did. But he had the numbers because he actually had a great season, and so that's what he won. So it wasn't just like that sucks, I got bad, but he actually had the numbers to show it. And so did Joe Burrow. He came back.
Yeah.
So let's see, maybe DeMar, maybe this time.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, either way, for those games, even making it to that championship game, some teams like the Washington Commanders haven't done it in a long time. So even still, big congrats to all of them who made it this far.
I agree.
Yes. Yeah. All right. We're cooking here. What do we got next? We got some ladies takeover. So we're taking over and we are going to be talking possibly about what we have to say as our final say. So I'm good. Dude, I don't know if I should start or if I'm going to take a round check.
Whatever you want, because we have an honorary lady on the show today.
Sorry, Anthony. Yes, and gentlemen. It had my notes. Things get all rustled and tussled.
No, you're fine.
That might be my final say is, sometimes you just got to roll with the punches. And
you are killing Delilah right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a pretty good week. I don't have much to say other than I'm really excited for this year, going into the playoffs. I feel like every year I know a little bit more. I remember a little bit more. Surprisingly, I know, getting old. Who knew? But it's because of you guys and all of your shows and what you do and helping me remind myself. I'm one of those learners that if it has a song to it, I can study that way. Well, you guys had made studying football a lot easier on me. So I've been soaking it up like a sponge. Thank you, Sean Spencer. And yeah, I'm super excited for at least one of our teams, being in the final, not us, but us as the Let's Talk Football takeover. We represent a wide variety of teams. And I'm always so happy when one of us, gets to shine in that light. We all get to shine. I feel like for them. So, Sean, it's your guys. It's your moment. It's your time. Take it, but not on us. Not on our ladies takeover. No, I'm kidding. All right, I'm gonna say, and that's done. That's it. I'm gonna go with Kate. What do you got?
To have a friend, you got to be a friend, and you got to be a good friend. I've had a very challenging last few weeks about friendships, and it's got me pretty down here. I thought, 2024 is in the past, 2025 is coming up, It's going to be a great year. I'm going to start out great. This January is a trial run month. We're going to call it the trial run month. It's been a challenging month to start the fresh year, and I've learned a lot about who I have in my corner and who I don't. And it's been very challenging. I'm going to be raw and real right now. I have a million emotions going through my body this last week and a half, and figuring out who I can trust and who I can't. So just be a good friend and be a genuine good friend. And when you call yourself a friend, that means you obey the code of girl code. You know, if you're loyal to them, you got to be loyal. All of those things that come with friendships. But I'm struggling right now with friendships and everything and trust, and it's difficult, but just be a good friend. Be a genuinely loyal good friend to your people. That's all I really have to say is, if you're going to be a friend, be the friend that you say you're going to be, not the friend that says one thing to your face and does one thing behind your back. But I wish I had a uplifting, sweet, loving, usual ladies have the final say. Just be good friends. Be the friend that you say you're going to be. That's all.
Yes. Well, you got us, Kate. Always in mind. But to those others, we got your back. Yes. Anthony Handy, what do you got?
Wow.
You're an honorary lady, so you get a
Yes.
final say.
I'm trying not to. My voice is doing it. My voice is trying to run off into Johnny Carson, and I don't want to do that because I don't have a very good Johnny Carson impersonation. So, I don't. Wow, it's been. We're 3 weeks into the new year. I don't know. I am taken aback by the. You would think with me watching this show every week and now knowing I'm on here that I would have something for the final say. The things that you want. Sometimes the things that you want, if they are out of sync with the things that you truly need, then you have to re-examine. Why do I sound like Dr. Umar Johnson right now? You know what? I'm gonna keep it simple. Say your prayers and take your vitamins, brother. That's all. I mean, I I get up every day. I get up every day. I go to the gym no less than 3 times a week, which is great because if I don't, I've developed a hobble in my lower right side of my back. When I drive to work, it takes me about a good 10 or 15 minutes to walk that whatever that is out of my back. And you all know I lost my father in April. April will be a year now since I lost my father. And one of the things about my family is they have a tendency to sometimes not be so healthy, not lead so healthy lifestyles. Not that they're doing anything insane, just diet, lack of exercise. So the biggest thing that I got is, and I cannot preach this enough, because when I tell you that exercise right now is probably the only thing that is keeping me from probably walking with a cane, exercise. Take the time and treat your body well. Eat right, exercise. Yes, I say that as I'm drinking a Coca-Cola. I'm working on this. Eat right and treat your body to some good. Get up and move around. You'd be amazed the difference that it makes in how you feel, getting the endorphins going, all of that. I cannot stress enough. It doesn't have to be going to the gym and working out like the guys that walk around and talk like they just got off the plane from Austria. Yeah, come do it with me now. Work out now. Make your muscles really strong. No, you don't have to do all of that. Just go to the gym, get on the treadmill and walk just a half a hair faster than you normally walk. Like you're in the mall and you're trying not to run, but you're trying to get to Foot Locker before, because you know if you don't get there, the last pair of Jordans are gonna be gone. Do some light weights. Do just get out in the yard and do actual yard work. Like be like, oh, you know what? I don't think I want the landscapers this week. I'm gonna do it myself. Uh, the simplest stuff can make the biggest difference in your life. And the older I get, the more I find that out. So take care of yourselves, take care of your bodies, and take care of yourselves. So that's what I got. I pulled that one out of nowhere because I was just gonna stand here and look at y'all like I got nothing.
I love it. Well, and that's why, Delilah, what you have the last say now. What do you have to say for the final say? I'm leaning.
I was laughing too hard, so okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
I'm leaning in like I can hear you better. I don't know.
No, sorry. I was just all right. So my final say is this past week on Monday it was MLK Day, and so I just wanted to take a moment to recognize his birthday was actually the week before, but it was observed in the United States on Monday, and so I just wanted to make sure to acknowledge that. The reason is because I just want to end with one of his quotes. So we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. And so I hope that whatever everybody's dealing with, positive or negative, or something is hard to make it through, just remember that, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., that, again, disappointment will be finite, right? Meaning not unending. So they will end, but you never lose hope. Hope is forever and everlasting and enduring. So that's how
I love that.
I like that. I love that. Wow. Wow.
Well, actually, I have to add a small on the title, as we refer to him, our good brother, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. My fraternity brother. He was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and in a iron sharpens iron type of moment, the brother Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock.
I love him.
Who is the senator from Georgia?
Yeah.
Is a young man who grew up in my hometown. He was in a program called Upward Bound. It's a program for kids that may not have as many opportunities to go to college, and what they do is they have summer programs and they teach them how to write resumes and reading programs, and they take them. And my mother worked with Upward Bound for many years at Savannah State University, and we would take trips to Washington D.C. and New York and things like that. And this young man was a part of the Upward Bound program, and the director of Upward Bound, my not by blood, but my aunt Doretha, took the Upward Bound kids to Ebenezer Baptist Church, where Martin Luther King Jr. was pastor. Young Raphael Warnock said, "It is my goal in life that I will pastor this church."
Oh.
So an alpha man succeeded, well, not succeeded immediately, but an alpha man eventually became the pastor of the church that a great alpha man once pastored, and now is a senator up on Capitol Hill. So that's your history,
that.
your history lesson for the day.
I love it. You know me. I love
We
history.
need more
And
of that.
And I'm gonna tell you, so I'm gonna tell you what, that young man has been preaching since he's been about 15, 16 years old, and that man can preach. You hear me?
And I volunteered to get him elected and made calls from Michigan to people in Georgia when we needed to get him and Ossoff into Congress. So I made calls for him from Michigan and did what I could to get him elected. And it was my great honor to do that because I love that man.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
What a-
an incredible public speaker, and he actually spoke. He spoke at Aunt Doretha's funeral, and it was quite possibly the most moving moment of the funeral.
Aww.
I wish we could observe that as a holiday up here, but you guys are lucky to have had him. I get, yeah, that's what a great way to end the show off. Honestly, with that, and an MLK Day, I love that. And Janae, we miss you. We miss you
Love
lots.
you.
We wish you were here, and we can't wait to hear all the fun stuff when you are back. So I guess this is it.
That's
This
it.
is
We'll
it.
see you
We
in 2
did it.
weeks.
We did that thing. Bye.
See you later.
Ciao.